I spent an entire year making goals to realize that they all come down to these 5 principles. I promise that after this video, you will be so ready to make goals and actually achieve them. And the way that I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna tell you the story, give you the lessons, and then I'm gonna give you a secret of mine. So it's all started when I was young. I was always had these dreams and aspirations. Some of them were realistic, some of them were so creative, in fact, that it's physically not done yet, even with all of the technologies that are happening, right? And that was me when I was young. I was so creative. In fact, I was literally designing rockets when I was 9 years old. So that's something about me. So I always had those stuff and had those experiences with goal making. What are all the aspects? And because 12 years I was doing that, in the past year, I said, you know what? This looks like one of the most important lessons that I have to learn. So why not spend the entire year just goal studying? So I've seen so many people making goals and I've seen so many people not making goals. So let's clarify that. If you have to realize, so I literally spent the past 3 years going, okay, let's say it like this. I spent the last 3 years going from making goals to not making goals to making goals, just to know which one is better. And I realized this one thing: making goals is always better because it gives you a clearer vision, and not making goals is usually related to a bad mental state. So if you're in a bad mental state, you think that you're incapable to do anything really productive, really it's almost not doable to make goals, because whatever you will make, first you will not make the right goals, second you cannot achieve them. So then the way to make goals, if you are in that situation, the only way for you to transfer is by literally making small, crappy goals. It's like you have to just say, well, tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'm going to drink water, and I'm going to go for a walk. Next day I'm going to wake up, I'm going to walk with friends, say hi to one person, and drink water. Something like that. It is so easy that you can do. So just like whenever you get the habit of like, oh, I'm making stuff, I'm actually following them, then you're like, oh, right, now I get it. And with the time, you just find yourself that your life literally runs with goals. However, goals and systems and programs are always different. Like the amount of people that think that goals are programs, a system, is absolutely absurd. In fact, there's YouTube videos that tells you that don't make goals, make systems instead. You stupid dumb, you have no clue about what you're talking about. Systems are literally made to make your goals possible. Goals are the literal destination. In fact, I'm going to give you the other version of goals that you don't need to put systems in the first place. And programs is literally working for something that is repetitive. So it's not goals making, but it's really also not systems. So as someone who training in the gym has a program, as an example, he has Monday leg day, he has Tuesday chest day, etc. So that is a program. The system is more of a process that you go through. It's like, instead of saying that I want my room cleaned, I clean it every day, or I clean it once it's messy. That's usually the process or the system. Better than both is goals. And that's why it is the principle. Like once you see the videos, because I've seen that about 1 year ago. I've seen this video and it's got like few millions of views. I was like, dude, how does this make any sense? I'm going to try it. And I tried it. And later on, now I'm 1 year into practice, I realized that it all comes down to just basically make goals and know how to make goals. Because systems, for a lot of people, they mix goals with systems. It is not because of what you think. So if there is one thing, like I literally, in the past year, I've made countless goals. I can't even count. Just to realize that they all come down to this one principle, which is make goals based on what you put in, not what you get. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say with the gym, instead of saying I want to lose, my goal is to lose 5 kilograms, I'm going to say my goal is to go this month 20 times to the gym, or do cardio 20 times this month. It's way better, and it puts you in the decision that is hard to lose. And of course, in your brain, you know you want to lose 5 kilograms. but the actual goal that you can measure. Because look, it's easy to measure because like obviously you have to track, okay? You have to track the results. So as an example, every day you scale yourself, you say like, did I lose anything? Did I even add weight? If I add weight, then something is wrong, etc. And at the same time, reps or consistency based goals are a great way to measure, because literally you can make whatever you want and you can be as creative as you want. Because once you say, let's say a month, you can play with it. So we have, let's say 20 sessions of cardio a month. You can change that. So whether that be in 5 times a week, or whether that be in 1 week you do 7 and the other one you do 3, whatever you want. If you want to go all in, you can end it up. And you're like, you know what, I'm going to do cardio 2 times a day, 3 times a day, depending on who you are, what are your preferences, what's how your mentality works. But just that literally gives you the flexibility, while once you always focus on like, I want to lose 5 kilograms, I want to lose 5 kilograms, actually that usually gets you away from where you want to be, then gets you closer. I'm going to give you an example. So about 3 years ago, I had this high up thing with on social media. I was getting 4 million of views a month. And I was like, dude, I'm the big guy now. You know what I'm saying? I had no followers at all. It's just like an ego thing. And I got to this situation. I was with this content creator and he asked me, he said, what is your goal? I said, well, this is a little bit tricky, because I was thinking like, should I say it on camera or not? And he said, I think it's 100,000 in it. Because I told him like, what do you think? You know, to think in my head. That's also a tricky thing. It's social media training. Media training is literally to do this stuff, to know what to say on camera, etc. Especially when you're under pressure with someone who has more experience than you, like this case. So I said, what do you think? He said 100,000 followers, 100,000 subscribers. I said, no, it's too much. It's like 50,000. Because I knew it's 100,000. It's unrealistic, because I did it like 1 year, the year prior to that, and they didn't get to it. So it's like, dude, I don't want to aim for that, you know, do something crazy, especially that I'm saying it out loud. The thing is that it had that ripple effect, because I just believe that is my goal. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to just let it happen. 1 year after it happened, but it's 1 year after. And for comparison, like in the past, from that video, like about 4 months prior to that video, I gained about 30,000. So the next 20,000 took me 1 year. And you're like, oh dude, this is insane. It's like, how did that happen? Well, this is why I'm telling you. Goals making is different. So here's the trick. So if you have to learn one thing about making goals, and most importantly, if you have to tell them to people or not, do this one experiment to yourself. 1, are you an introvert or an extrovert person? How do you define yourself? Just simply ask yourself, will you be fine if you're 1 week with nobody? It's like just alone 1 week. Will you feel great? Will you be better, or you will be worse? That's usually like, if it's better, you're an introvert. If it's not, you're an extrovert. And the same thing goes with like, when you are with huge numbers of people, it doesn't have to be like-minded, which is also another thing. It's like, they don't have to be like-minded. Are you loving the situation? Are you more energetic with them? If not, you're probably introvert. If it is, probably extrovert. I found my thing, like me personally, I am an introvert, except for one thing. It's like, if the group of people, even if it's 1 million, if they're like-minded individuals, so they believe in what I believe in, they believe in my goal, they believe in my principles, they understand my language, etc. I love that. And in fact, there is almost this shift that happens to me, that I am with people that, you know, they don't believe in me and I know they will have a negative effect on my unconscious mind. I'm like, no, thank you. So I'm extremely introverted there. But it's like, not in the awkward way. It's like selective ignorance. It's not like I don't know how to speak to them. I speak normally and I speak better than them. You understand? But when I'm with the other people, I love it. And I want to spend more time with them. And I know they love it too. It's more of a disrespect situation that happens. And I know a lot of people are out there, and if they see all of this bullshit, it's like, you're not introvert, you're not extrovert, you're bivert, you're extrovert. What the, dude, just shut the fuck up. But just like, that's what it is. So, I'm going to tell you a story that literally changed the entire life in terms of goals making, which is, it's a quote by Timothy Chalamet. He said, if you want the gods to laugh at you, say your dreams out loud. So this is something that comes tricky, because once you read all of the books, or even you hear Conor McGregor, he says, if you have the courage enough to believe it, so if you really believe it and you see it in your mind and you visualize it and you have the courage to say it, it will happen. I really believe that. But you don't want to attract the wrong attention. So the biggest mistake that you can ever do when making a goal is just telling it to everyone. That is the reason why it is a big mistake. So it's awesome because everybody believes in what you believe in. The problem with that is the wrong attention. There's nothing wrong with attention. Actually, attention is what will make you grow. But the wrong attention will kill you before you even begin. So if you have a goal, at first, don't say it out loud like a dummy. Say it to people that you know they will believe in what you will say. Period. Right? Whether that be an unconditional love, right? For a lot of people, they say it's family, whatever. Look, it doesn't matter. It's that. Or you have some sort of private situation, private network, wherever that may be, is that people that will not look down on you because you literally just want something. Usually it's people who are way far ahead of you. That's also like a great way to do it, but not all the time. Because I've heard, I didn't experience, but some people don't want you to be that good. Because they will be like, oh, he will be a competition, whatever that may be. Usually it's not the case. So you don't want, like, the most important thing while making a goal is not telling it to everyone, to not attract the wrong attention. The wrong attention will kill you before you even begin. The right attention is what nurtures you. And that's literally what it is. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example of two situations in my data from my stories. About 3.5 years ago, I started this journey with my brand. And when I first said, I said it out loud, I was like, you know what? I'm going to become the best YouTuber in my country. I'm going to become the best content creator. I'm becoming this. It's like I was telling it on social media publicly to everyone. And I knew I was attracting the wrong attention. I just didn't have the experience to know what that means. And I figured out that along the way, all what I was thinking about is those people. It's that bad attention. It's the wrong attention. You don't want that. On the other hand, while I was working on this other branch of my brand, I didn't tell it to anyone. You know? So first, it was just me. I didn't care about anyone what he will say. Literally, nobody will change what the fuck I'm gonna do. And that's it. That was period. So as I was going, once I'm sure, now I'm not going to leave it, I can share it with more group, like bigger group of people. I might just add one or two. It doesn't have to be hundreds. One or two, something like that. Just slowly, right? And once you are comfortable that you're like, dude, I will never stop. Like right now, I know I will never stop what I'm doing. It's like I literally was talking to my mother just about 1 month ago, and I told her it's like, I know I will never stop what I'm doing under any circumstance. Like I know that. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter now. It's like I don't give a fuck about the attention I'm getting, because but also I'm like 1 year in. I'm 1 year deep. Actually, it's more. It's like 1 year and 2 months in addition to the other 6.5 years or 7 years prior to that. There's not really literally practicing this principle. And the essence of this is really the wrong attention. Like the right attention will give you boosts, will literally give you turbos to just crush whatever you want. The wrong attention will kill you before you even begin. And look, don't take it from me. I'm gonna even give you a reference here. She's like, you cannot argue. It's like in the book Think and Grow Rich, there's this huge chapter about vibrations and how people's energies are different, right? And how our unconscious mind literally speaks with energy, not words. So if someone is talking negatively, it doesn't matter what he says, his unconscious mind is getting that emotion. And he is literally translated or transcribing it into its physical equivalence. And the same goes with positive energy. And this is like, you can look that up. If that sounds weird and you're the first time, I understand. That's what I felt. But it all made sense. Because he was literally speaking about this all in depth. And the guy has studied 22 years. And he's Napoleon Hill. And he studied Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, all of the big guys. And he was hired by the richest man in the world. It's like, of course, it makes sense. And he says, one of the most important things that a man can do that is aspiring for success is to protect his thought vibration. Just like he's protecting anything else. Just like you fucking protecting your life. What does this mean? It's like your thought vibration is your most precious source of reality. Once you let people comes with their thought vibration, you have to comprehend that you're literally letting their thought vibration affect you. There is no such thing as not doing that. It's like whether you cut them off or they will influence you. And everyone has a taste of this. It's like people experience that. They're like, when I'm with that person, I'm not feeling so good. Or the biggest problem, which is what I had in my first year in college, is like I meet with these people. Now when I come back and I want to be productive, I have to go through all of these cycles. It's not only the price, the time that I was losing with them, it's the price that I have to spend just to come back to the state that I was in. And after like few months, 1 year, as an example, 1 year of college of mine, dude, it felt like you're deep down, like you're not seeing the literal light. You're deep down in the ocean because you just didn't have any barriers to stop. And that's what I'm talking. It's like you have to stop negative energy. And here's the thing. If you don't believe in books, sure, I comprehend. So, who is the richest man in the world? Who's probably the smartest man in the world? Who's probably the most successful man in the world right now? He's Elon Musk. Jeff Bezos was talking about Elon Musk. So we're talking here big minds, okay? Big entrepreneur, big names. He was speaking about him and he said, Elon Musk has this one thing, is that if he speaks to you, so he has this interaction. The moment he realized that this interaction isn't helping him, he will stop, look back and go. Not a word said. And this we're talking about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Probably you have to do that with your mates. So the importance of this is that you have to comprehend that your unconscious mind has to be trained, right? So the way you train it is not only by confirming, it's like positive confirmation, positive words, how you speak to yourself, your inner dialogues, your thoughts, but also by controlling the people that gets into you, that has the access into your thought vibration. And that's why you see successful people are walking with successful people, because their thoughts vibration are both the same, so they literally just nurture each other. And I'm sure you've experienced that. When you are with someone who is successful, who has what you want, who literally does whatever it is, achieves his goals, you really realize that you literally feel awesome with him. It's his thought vibration that he's giving you. And these stuff are probably the most important. So it's like, if you want to achieve all of your goals, do this one thing. Focus on your thought, energy, and vibrations. Protect just like you protect your life, your children, your family. As if like if you let other vibrations, if you let the wrong energy, you will die. Think about it this way, because it's that important. At least if you want to achieve your goals bad enough, if you think that it's just a passion of yours, then sure, do whatever you want, just keep doing what you're doing, and look, what you've been doing got you to here, so probably it will be wise if you change what you're doing, so you go to somewhere that you want. In this case, it's literally achieving all of your goals, because achieving goals is just a process, right? It's literally like continuous processing, and goals gets down to milestones and etc, etc. So this is literally the fundamentals. And look, just after this, what I said here, the points and the principles, just apply them wherever and you will achieve the goal. And also you have to comprehend like one thing. So if there's one thing to keep in mind while trying to achieve a goal, is that you will go through phases. The first phase is you're so happy and excited. It's called uninformed optimism. Then you get to uninformed pessimism. It's like you don't know what you're doing, but you know it's getting hard. Then you get to the valley of despair, which is like nothing's gonna work, dude. It seems just literally nothing's gonna work. And here where most people give up and go to do other stuff, here you have to comprehend that it's just part of the process. Valley of despair, then you're like, oh dude, I understand. I think if I do this one thing, it will work. Which is informed pessimism, and then you achieve the goal. It's like something like that, and the cycles just repeat. So don't fret if you are in the valley of despair or uninformed pessimism, whatever it is. And as I promised, what you've seen here, literally you can do now immediately. Just write whatever goal you want and actually achieve it. It's just that simple. And what you've seen here, you can never unseen. So you might as well subscribe.